There we go. All right, there we go. I know how to do my setup properly. All right, let's get to the content page. All right, welcome to season 40, week 3 of Warrior content. I'm Simba. Why is my? I think I have my mic set up weird. All right. So I'm Simba. I'm gonna be joined this week by Ness of Waste of Golf, who have yet to play a game this season. So far the current standings for Warrior are Grin Scythe at 4-0, Daddy Stuck My Dictatorship at 4-0, Dark Horse Storm at 2-2, Slug Cats at 2-2, Waste of Golf at 1-2, Grin Fury at 1-2, and Nether Knights pulling the bottom at 0-4. I gotta pull you back up really quick, Ness. All right, I got you pulled back up. Sorry, and I'm joined here by Ness. Sorry, I didn't have him pulled up when he said hi the first time. It's just amateur hour over here, you know. Just haven't
Oh,
done
shit.
this. Haven't
It's an amateur league. What more do you expect?
haven't done this content stuff for constantly for almost a year. So I'm learning. We're all learning together here. So yeah, I'm joined here by Ness. So no, I know. Me and Lacertus last week. I had you and Daddies as the game of the week, and found
What a
out.
game! What a game that was! In all
Yeah,
honesty,
yeah,
what a hard fought series for a while that he
y-
taken the 2-0.
yeah. Nice little 2-0. Yeah. Because forfeit.
Yeah,
We can get into what caused that forfeit later on. Um, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the week 2 power rankings and how it has changed from week 1. In week 2, Grin Scythe, my team is number 1 in the power rankings. We got Daddy Suck My Dictatorship. You can have us interchangeable. We have you guys dropping from number 3 in the power rankings to number 1. I kind of can't drop you anywhere below 3 because we haven't seen you play. We haven't seen you guys play at all because you had bye week 1, and then forfeit week 2. So can't really drop you much, but the biggest drop of the week is going to go to Dark Horse Storm, who unfortunately I could put them 3, could put them, and I can put them 4. But they're going to drop just because they did get 2 0'd by my team in the series. It was a tough series, game 2 wise at least. But unfortunately, Dark Horse Storm, they're going to drop from the number 1 in the power rankings to number 4. One of the big movers in power rankings is going to be Slug Cats. They're going to go from the bottom at 7 to 5. They're going to hop Grin Fury and drop Nether Knights from 5 to 7. Grin Fury is going to stay put because they had a bye week. You can't really move them. They haven't done anything. And then Nether Knights is going to drop from 5 to 7 after getting 2 0'd by Slug Cats. Um, I got your roster up to date, right?
yeah,
All right,
that
cool.
is
Just
the yeah, that's the current roster.
correct players. All right. So slowly getting team logos in, slowly getting rosters proper. Um, is there anything in the power rankings you personally would change? I kind of just did this. That's my own based decisions here. Is there anything you would personally change, or do you think my power rankings is how it should be?
In all honesty, would put Wild Eddie at number one. His team is honestly pretty stacked. It was one of the few teams I was really looking forward to playing with or playing against. Mainly because Jazar and Bonky are just really good players for the rank,
Yeah. If I was
and
going,
Wild Addy being just the wild card of that group as
yeah.
well.
If I was to actually go into a different spreadsheet, you would see my scouting report that I already have put together for Daddy Sucks My Dictatorship. So I have a scouting report put together already, and if you were to be able to look at that, but that's for my team's eyes only. But we have their Tricore as the definite X factor for that team. Um, the other, so last week We had Lacertus. Just going to go over last week's predictions. My prediction was we're Dark Horse Storm and my team, we were going to 1-1 them. Lacertus was actually correct that we 2-0'd Dark Horse Storm. Unfortunately, my prediction for your guys' series against Daddy Sucks My Dictatorship was weirdly correct in a sad way just because you guys didn't even play them. Lacertus had that as a 1-1. Um, and then Lacertus had a 2-0 for Slugcats over Nether Knights. That was correct. Mine was incorrect. I had Nether Knights 2-0ing. I just based that basically off the initial power rankings. I didn't really know much about Nether Knights. I just knew on paper they were the better team. And then Slugcats, we had played them and we did very well against them. So I kind of expected Nether Knights just based off MMR wise to do better. But they did get 2-0'd by Slugcats. And then we got next week's matchups. We got. Did I update this? I did not. I had this updated and I did not. Weird. I had this updated. I thought I did, but I did not. So I'm gonna do that on stream. We're gonna look amateurish, but it's fine. You guys, I have the series. That's because I updated the series down here. All right. Ways to go. We're just struggling here, you know. It's a vibe. And then Nether Knights. All right. So if you want to keep the crowd entertained while we struggle through this,
Let's see here. Honestly, not been playing Dota 2 for at all lately. A lot of RPGs coming out in like the last week or so.
Yeah, the main one I know a lot of teams have been having their players have issues with trying to get them to play Dota is trying to get them to not play Pal World. A lot of teams are
Yeah, no,
struggling.
Power World is it's a struggle to get
It
off of.
it's ruining some teams. I know Slugcats carry Rust Daddy loves Pal World because I know that was the issue week 1 for them is trying to get him to play Dota and not Pal World. They weren't sure if they were gonna have to replace him or not just because he was playing so much Pal World. All right. As I take a bite of some chili. So I guess we'll start by reviewing the Grinsythe versus Dark Horse Storm series. I don't know if you have those games open yet or not.
No, I don't. Get this up real quick.
So just let me know when you're good, and then I'll go
Yep.
over the series and
I
start
am
reviewing
good.
it. All right. So in game 1, Dark Horse Storm picked a carry Windranger, Windrunner, I don't know what Wind Ranger, Mid Invoker, Pos 3, offlane Legion Commander with a support Lion, and then a Pos 5 hard support Treant. On Grinsythe side, my team side, we went with a mid OD carry Abaddon, offlane Magnus, Pos 4 Earth Spirit, and a Pos 5 Witch Doctor. As you'll see in this series, we did have 2 stand-ins in Chubloader. I don't know what's the other name he's known as. But he played with
Really
Lacertus.
truck?
No, he played with Lacertus on Abstinence last season. I think he was there 4-5. So, kind of got a message at 8 a.m. from Lacertus. Hey, I can't play, but here's this player I played with if you as my stand-in, so you don't have to go search. And then we also had Pentjack, who had a work-related thing going on that, so I had to find a stand-in for him a week early. And I went with the MTL, heavily known for his time with MTL and Thebe. We kind of just went with comfort for both Thebe and Chubbloader to make it easy for them to play with a team they're not really familiar with. Made their lives easy, just because they get to play heroes they're familiar with and they're good on, compared to us being like, play this hero that we know you're not good on, but and you're not familiar with us. Just kind of the usual thing you do with a stand-in. You make sure they're comfortable, give them an easy hero that they're acquainted with quite well. We Grinside, I'm just gonna call that my team. We did win this series overall 2-0, but in game one, we had a relatively easy time. Me and Revamp kind of just dumpstered on Barry in the off lane in this game one. Abaddon Witch Doctor is just a tough lane in general to play against. It's just a lot of damage that just comes out and you're not expecting it, and you just kind of die. Even though you're an LC, you can have life steal, you have the heal. You just
Maledict just does too much with the I guess with Abaddon running you down with the Aphotic Shield.
yeah,
Probably
fought
not
it.
a whole lot for him to do.
Yeah, I kind of got to like five and a half, six, and then I just kind of ran at Barry. I mean, I was already running at him before that, but that's the time that I just kind of turned on the pressure. I got my six, just did what Abaddon does. You get six, you just run at people and you giggle the entire time. So yeah, Revamp, he's probably one of the best, if not the best, Boss 5 I played with in a long time. I'm gonna just sing his praises as long as the season goes, just because he wasn't. I kind of reached out to him like last minute because I saw like I was post. He's like, me and my friend, yeah, we're a dual combo. We play 1 and 5. Nothing we can do about that. So I kind of reached out to him, see if him and his friend were kind of still that dual combo. Recruiting process had gone on for so long that him and his friend just weren't a combo anymore, just because they couldn't find a team that needed a 1 and 5. They needed a 1 or a 5. They just didn't need both. But Revamp, he is probably the best player on my team. I mean, Amir probably wants me to say he's the best player, but Revamp is just carrying from the 5 position, and he makes my life so easy in the safe lane. All right, and then you got any comments on this game one, Ness?
No, it's one of those I wish I saw, but just preoccupied with some other stuff. Not surprised Amir has tier 2 neutral in a 44-minute game, but
Yeah,
Girl Vote is a hard item to pass up on.
yeah, it's the Amir classic. You find your neutral item that you're really in love with, and you just don't move on from it. But this game, it went 44 minutes. It was kind of back and forth up until about like the 20-minute mark, and then the lead just slowly and surely went in my team's favor. I mean, we had a little bit of a weird throw here where we got team wiped. We got a 4-for-5 trade. Actually, it was a buyback on LC, right? No. Yeah, it was a 5-for-1 trade. We can actually, yeah, it was a 5-for-1 because Amir ended up buying back. Oh, he had Aegis. Never mind. So this was a Aegis and then die again. So it was a 4 for the LC. We kind of threw there. You can see that in the graph here.
Yeah.
And then we wiped them, killed 2 for nothing. And then we just had a lot better trades in our favor until the end of the game. And it just, at 30 minutes, it just spiraled out of control for Dark Horse Storm. They couldn't keep pace. It felt like we were just super far ahead, and in comms you could tell that we were super far ahead because we were jovial, happy, and we're just like, yeah, game's done. We just gotta figure out how we're gonna end this and make sure that we win. Game 2, on the other hand, is a completely different story. So game 2 is a completely different story. It's kind of this was a back and forth game where actually, it wasn't even back and forth, but Dark Horse Storm just kept winning fights, winning fights, winning fights, and then we have the mag factor. I mean, we kind of just rolled the same draft out with a little bit of spice in there because we switched out the mid OD, which we could have had for a mid Timber, and then they did ban revamps Witch Doctor in the first phase, so we went the Grimstroke Abaddon lane. But we rolled out three of the same heroes we had in the previous game. Similar result, but not as easy of a victory. Because if you look at the graph, at 25 minutes
This
from
looks like a giant,
it's a
giant slugfest.
yeah,
Holy.
it's a roller coaster. 5 minutes we have the advantage all the way up until about the 25-minute mark, and then we just get we just absolutely get crushed 4 fights in a row. We get a 4 for Wraith King, 4 for Wraith King Ogre, 4 for nothing. We just get rolled for 3 fights in a row. Dark Horse Storm just builds up to about a 12.3k lead, and then we find a few key pickoffs. I mean, this game it was just all about for the most part it was all about Tenz's Weaver. We kind of let him have a free game, and then he just kind of started rolling the game. Angry Sun did the thing with Primal Beast, rotated off, just kind of. Oh, wow, Daddy. You better hope Amir never gets a pupil's gift this season. That dude's never gonna drop it. True.
Those plus
You?
17 other stats are pretty huge.
Yeah. Plus 17 stats. Yeah. I mean, Amir's probably if he ever gets a pupil's gift, if pupil's gift ever gets buffed again, he's never gonna drop it. But yeah, graph wise, it's Dark Horse Storm leading, and then just slowly the lead dwindles away. If you guys happen to have it, I'm probably gonna get the end game clip off to Subwoofer for this game. Um, but end game, we get a huge pick off on Tins's. Tins, yeah, I'm getting their names confused. We get a huge pick off near the end game on Tins's Weaver, who was on dieback. We find him, get him killed, and then I bought back into this fight just because I died early on. I bought back just to ensure that because we're fighting around this mid tier 3. Um, Chubloader gets a big pull here on his Magnus, pulls him back, and we're fighting under this tier 4 just because just mag things, get blink skewer, pull him back. Um, So yeah, fight him under. I die, buy back. Then we get a huge pickoff on a dieback Tim's Weaver who doesn't have. He didn't have his buyback until like the last 15 seconds of his death timer. So he's trying to hold buyback. Um, he's just hoping that we don't push in time. But we run down mid. We take this rack to this racks. I start to hit this racks. The top racks they fortify. In comms, if Amir's here, uh, um, yeah, Amir's like, I don't know if we win this. I'm like, just Amir, just trust me. We hit tier 4s, we hit ancient, we win the game. Don't question me. We just win. Like they have nothing. They fortified too early. I'm literally Abaddon. We just win. So I'm here. And then the biggest play, if you happen to watch this replay, is Chubloader over here with his Magnus is just controlling 4 of their heroes while the Weaver's still on dieback. Controlling the 4 heroes, allowing me to freely hit the Ancient. And then it's just me racing to kill the Ancient before the Weaver gets back alive. And it was a hard fought game by Dark Horse Storm, but I'm just glad we pulled that out to go 4-0 on the season. That was the game I thought we were gonna end up 1-1 on. You got any comments, Ness?
Looks like Barry Offlane almost, or Barry Wraith King almost did it again.
Yeah.
Played these guys in a scrim. It was like last week. This man Barry does so much in the offlane. For me, he is public enemy number one if I'm ever playing against Dark Horse Storm. Sands and Your Son, I don't really. I think they can do what they want to do, but letting Barry do what he wants to do is it's going to come back and haunt you later on in the game.
Yeah, if you watch either of these games and just happen to watch the replay, me and Revamp just kind of we just bullied Barry off the lane. Like as soon as like cooldowns were up, because you have a Abaddon Witch Doctor and Abaddon Grimstroke. As soon as Grimstroke's E was off cooldown, it's and Khan's Revamp's like just run at the Wraith can kill him. Okay, I'll do what you say, Revamp. We'll do that. And literally off cooldown, we would just run at Barry's poor Wraith King. He did not have a fun time this series because me and Revamp ensured that he just did not have a good time. Let's go back to the main content page. So that's gonna be the week 2 series. We did 2-0 Dark Horse Storm, as I said earlier. And then my prediction for game of the week that unfortunately didn't occur because I'm actually sad because I would have loved to go back and watch this series because it would have been a slugfest. But unfortunately, I'm going to let you elaborate on why the forfeits happened and what caused it to occur. But unfortunately, Wasteland Golf did have to forfeit both games against Daddy Sucks My Dictatorship. I'm gonna let Ness take the floor and explain what the issues were with his team not being able to be here for this series against Wild Daddy Bonky and the rest of Daddy Sucks My Dictatorship.
So by default, we are missing our five until March because he is in the Canadian military and has some things to do in a different province and doesn't have his computer. And not to mention Milk Box, he was also out this weekend and wouldn't be coming back until like I think Monday. So we're already like two people down, me, Dirge, and our new offlaner. We're like, we can make it work, Barely play with barely played with each other, but we could make it work. Game day or day before game day, so January 31st. Our offlaner was like, "Oh hey, my girlfriend's coming over, and I need to go pick her up from the airport." At the time we were playing our games, and that's just one of those where you have two people on the original team and need three stand-ins, except you're only allowed two. So,
Yeah, so can't break.
so just very unfortunate. Would have loved to play Wild Daddy, probably like the strongest team, in my honest opinion.
Not wrong.
Love Bonky, love Bonky to death. Would have loved to break him down mentally. Just show some love for hosting me at TI.
Yeah.
You know, it's would have been
That's
fun to play these guys. Unfortunately, schedules weren't there. So
yes. So you got a guy in the military, guy that
he's
chose.
off doing a gig
Yeah,
in
yeah.
somewhere else, and he had a
Then you had a
girlfriend time.
then you had a guy choose love over Dota.
Yeah,
That I mean that's
but,
unfortunate.
I'm gonna say it. I can't wait to see Wild Daddy in grand finals. I'll say it.
Yeah, hopefully. Ho- uh, I mean the top.
Probably probably the only team I'm scared of this season.
I mean that's fair. I mean we have a mirror. You kind of know what you're gonna get at a mirror. Lacertus, he's in my opinion probably one of the top two offlaners in this league. And then you got Panjack, who plays a lot better than his rank, and then Revamp, who used to be, I think you told me, he used to be like Divine 2. So, on paper, my team is really good. We're gaining MMR, but we've seen what I do in playoffs. We've seen compared to what I do in regular season. I'm a scary guy in regular season, and then the wheels fall off for me in postseason, and I just literally suck. So we know what postseason symbol looks like, and it's not pretty. And then we'll go into the Slugcats versus Nether. I'm gonna struggle with this Nether Knights series, where Slugcats did 2-0 Nether Knights in what I'm gonna say is not an expected upset, but it is an upset just because on paper Nether Knights is just are just better players. Their weakest point, as I think I've pointed out before, is their offlane duo. They're not. They're safe. Yeah, they're off. Is it their offlane duo? No, they're safe lane duo. No, it's their offlane duo. Wait, am I losing it? I am. One of these guys was Crusader 5 not too long ago. Uh, where's their Crusader?
It's the offlaner. I think he ranked up to Archon.
No, he's Legend 1 now. So,
Ares or
Nether Knights. So yeah, their offlane duo was Ares, who like a couple days ago I looked and he was Crusader 5. Or I swear there's a Crusader in here
it might
somewhere.
be RO 1914 or 914 because he's Archon. Yeah, he's Archon 1. So he might have ranked up a couple days ago.
All right. Yeah, I swear their offlane duo was like Archon 1, but it looks like Ares, I think he might have recalled and went up to Legend 1 is my guess, because one of these guys was, like, I checked like 2 days ago, and one of them, there was Archon 1 and Crusader 5. Yeah, it's fine, Devil. I'm just losing it. We're good. I'm just losing it. Happens when you get older. So this was I'm gonna kind of work with Devil since he's in chat here. So in this game one, it looks like it was a kind of a slow paced game because you got 27-27. Yeah. So yeah, you got a 27-27 kill score in a 51-minute game. So you got around a kill a minute. If my math, yeah, you just got over a kill a minute in between both teams. It does look like Rust Daddy. He got anti-mage, only died once. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster if you're Nether Knights. You can't. I mean, they don't really have great catch for an anti-mage on their side. It was an 18 pick anti-mage, so you kind of ban protect it too. All right. Yeah. Let me get you added into here really quick, Devil, so you can talk in this series, make my life easier, so I don't have to guess. Give me 1 second. Let you talk on this series, Devil. All
Going on?
right, all right. So we got Devil here from Slugcats. I'm gonna. You have access to the Wartent page, right? If you want to predict at
Uh,
all, I can set you up.
I think so. I think I'm just gonna
Talk
I'll
on your
chill for
series. You'll just
five,
talk.
10 minutes and then I'll have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
I'll have to bounce here.
yeah. I'll let you talk on your series against Nether Knights. We're in game one here. Me and Ness were looking at it. So we got Rust Daddy going almost unkilled on AM. It looks like he died around 30 minutes and that was it. And then it just
Yeah.
kind of snowballed from there.
Well, we ended up getting a decent draft because during the second phase of picks, um we had banned out two of their offlaners. I think it was Timber and Centaur.
And
And then they banned Jug and then picked LS. And I assumed that was because they wanted to pick Mars and wanted to get rid of two heroes that could just leave arena. But they left both AM and Faceless in the pool, so we just decided between those two, and we realized they had no stuns really. So if we were like, okay, we'll pick AM, and then we'll just play really fast around the map and force him to react to our tempo, and eventually AM will get to a game state where he just can't die anymore. And that's what kind of happened was I was able to um, force this Ember into a state in the mid game where he had to like try and pick up his farm because it's really hard into Alina to win that lane for him. And then, yeah, they made a couple mistakes at a tier 2 push, and from there, AM came online, and the game was just clean up.
yeah, AM came online, and then I know game two. If I look back at it, just because while I was pre-grabbing everything for content, I know Russ Daddy got one of his favorite heroes just because I know week one scouting you guys. There's a hero we purposely banned against you both games just because we didn't want to play against
Yeah.
it, and Nether Knights banned a game one but didn't ban a game two.
Yeah, I
So
think they wanted to focus. I think they switched up their bans because they didn't want to play against Lena. I think they changed Lena to a first phase ban, and that allowed the Arc Warden to come through, if
yeah,
I'm not
so
mistaken.
I'll go over to game two here. So it looks like Nether Knights first phase bans were Visage, Viper, Anti Mage, and then second phase was Grimstroke Phoenix, and then their last phase was Lena Sniper.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah, so I think,
they
what
didn't
did we
want
first pick that game? I
to.
think we took Earth Spirit again?
So your guys' draft, what? No, yeah, your guys' draft was Wind Ranger, Timbersaw, Centaur Warrunner, Lone Druid ban, first pick Arc Warden,
Oh,
ban
yes. Yeah.
Band Void. Second phase, your guys' picks are Earth Spirit, Undying, Timbersaw. Last phase bands are Schlark, Morphling, and then your last overall pick was Spirit Breaker.
Yeah. So that game was, so I think they had a snap mid, if I'm not mistaken, that game.
Yeah, it was
And
their
I was,
picks. Their lanes were a mid Snapfire, off lane Sand King, carry Ursa, Pos 4, Clinks, and then a hard support Warlock. Your guys' was off lane Tide, and then you had a mid Spirit Breaker. Then your safe lane duo was Undying Arc, and then you had Earth Spirit 4 who did what Earth Spirit stuff, and they just rotated.
yeah, so I think that game was really funny because the way the draft went, we knew for a fact they were going to pick one of three heroes for their last pick carry. So we banned out the other two, knowing that they would have to pick Ursa. And then we were expecting that when JJ would start leaving and leaving Vit on an island in that lane, that Ursa would be able to eat the tide. And we were just gonna accept that. But they ended up not being that aggressive in that safe lane. And so Vit was kind of allowed to get a wave here or there and get XP without dying, and that kind of opened up our game to be allowed to play a little faster. I know this Arc Warden, like he was first picked, and they punished it once,
Yeah,
early on where they rotated while we were killing the Ursa, but after that, I had enough levels and an item to start playing as Spirit Breaker on their side of the river. And I would just kind of force TPs and poke, and that way Arc was allowed to just kind of farm and do whatever he want, and then eventually he came online and took a couple Roches and was able to go from there. And then Ursa's game was just really, really difficult because I was just perma bashing him as
yeah.
Spirit Breaker. So
One stat I want to point out that's really good is for Rust Daddy from the first week to second week. He had a lot better series against Slugcats than he did against us. But in this series, he only died a total of 2 times. He died once as AM, and then he died once as Arc Warden. So he literally only was dead twice, and was it around the same time each time? No. So he died at
right early with Arc Warden, I
yeah, he
think.
died at 13:44, and then the anti-mage he died around 30 minutes. So he kind of Rust Daddy did what carriers are supposed to do: get a lot of kills and just not die.
Yeah, we from when we played you guys versus this second week, I really re-hit the drawing board on how we are gonna draft and and how we're gonna play the game state of the game and change. And I won't give up too much, but basically it really changed. Because we're used to playing
Cause
people
you,
of
cause you guys
from the Voyager League.
were yeah you guys were the Voyager League champs, and you guys moved up what 2 divisions?
Yeah, so it is different. Like when you're playing against people that use the map better, TP more concisely, and just have a better idea of even if fog where heroes are. You yourself have to play the map and a draft slightly different. So I think getting more accustomed to this skill bracket has kind of changed our playstyle a bit for the better.
Yeah, and that's evident by you guys coming in as the lowest overall team in terms of calculator numbers. You guys came
Yeah,
into
I
the
think we're
league
like
at
a -5 or something.
yeah. You guys came in at -5, while everybody else was either a -1, 0.5, or 0. So
Yeah, Vid is really fucking bad at Dota, so that's why that's so bad.
calling out your offlaner, huh? All right.
We get along. We just like
Yeah.
shitting on each other.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are a friend stack, so it probably goes back a ways. You probably give him heck, and then he gives it right back to you.
Oh yeah. Well, I met these guys. Season 38 is when I actually joined this league. I had never played League Dota up until this point. And so I joined with them just randomly. I actually am not a mid player originally. So I actually had to learn the role, and then we played and we had a lot of fun. So we ran it back season 39, but we had to pick up a new carry because Rusk wanted to take a season break, and then he came back, and we accidentally forced him all the way up 2 leagues, and he was not happy about it. But here he is,
And
and
he's
we're
doing very
making him
well.
try hard. Yeah, he's a very good player, but I don't think he expected to have to try hard this much.
Yeah, he got moved up from playing against Archons, low legends, crusaders to ancients, and mid ancients to high legends.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's the way you improve, right? Slowly play better and better people.
Yeah,
Um,
sure. Yeah, that's why I'm in warrior, even though I should be in. Probably should have went up to conch. Yeah. You play better people.
Yeah, you gotta win each league one at a time. We accidentally skipped Challenger. That's unfortunate. Maybe we'll sandbag back down so we can win that one too, and then move on from there.
Yeah, just pull a rhino and get your ring, but instead of in one division only, get it in every division as you move up.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. No, but it was really fun. I really enjoyed playing against Nether Knights. I enjoyed playing against you guys. And I look forward to the rest of the season. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, speaking of next week, it does look like you guys are going to be playing Dark Horse Storm. Do you have any quick thoughts or notes that you have in terms of any scouting you've already done, or
I'm gonna
any?
be
You don't have to.
completely transparent with you here. I'm
You
gonna I'm gonna give you the full rundown here, okay? The entire team of Slugcats, well, 4 out of 5 of us are playing a different game together, and the other one is playing Pow World. So the whole week leading up to playing Nether Knights, I think we all unanimously played 1 game of Dota each or something. And I think that's probably gonna happen again this week. So we won't be doing any scouting until that day, I believe. So
just quickly look at Dark Horse Storm, see what they play, and then ban out what they play. All right, fair
exactly,
enough.
that's what we'll do. We're really really lazy. So what can you do?
Fair enough. Thank you for joining us, Devil. I'm gonna let Ness take the floor and speak on this series as a whole, or if there's any specific player highlights he wants to talk about in terms of the Slugcats Nether Knights series, or if he has any comments for this series as a whole.
Uh, Honestly, I don't think I have much to add on this one here. Just looks like it was just a back and forth, except game one, AM was able to do his own thing.
Yeah, and it
Not a whole lot.
helps him able to bring in a first person perspective of a player that was in that series. Let him explain it better than mine and yours outside perspective of just looking at numbers.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I think there was some throwing by us trying to go high ground a few times, but other than that, not too much excitement.
yeah. Overall, pretty good series. Played Nether Knights tight game one, and then it kind of opened up game two for you guys to have more success just because you played such a long game that was really tight. You beat them, and then their morale was probably low because you play an hour game. You hope that for a better expectation, you hope that you win it, and then you don't. Then it kind of can drop your morale in between games.
I would agree. I think that's a really important sentiment for like sometimes if your first game is going like to be an absolute stomp, Sometimes it's best to like this wasn't this game, but in general, sometimes maybe GGing out early or something. That way you can kind of reset and not feel this like bad demeanor about the second game. I think there's something to be said about that premise.
Yeah, GG out early. Get your team. Just do a GG go next. Get your team fully mentally reset and get them out of a poor game and get them into a better mental state.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, I'll let you guys carry on from here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
See you around.
All right, Mr. Ness. I guess we're gonna just do predictions, finish things
Yep.
out, and then some closing comments. If you have anything. So I'm gonna do what I'm gonna start with is I'm gonna start with the game of the week. Hopefully it occurs. Hopefully there's no scheduling issues. But I'm gonna go with Grin Scythe versus Daddy Sucks My Dictatorship. It's the battle of the two unbeatens. Um, it kind of has to be the game of the week because you guys in Grin Fury, neither team's really played Dark Horse Storm and Slug Cats. It's kind of the two teams that we've already played, and we've 2-0'd them. But you get Scythe versus Daddy Sucks My Dictatorship, team that's played every week, and then you get probably the scariest team of the league. Just got to see if coming in with momentum like my team is versus Daddy Sucks My Dictatorship is able to prove to be enough against them, or if just being the better team overall helps them out. You got any complaints about my game of the week choice?
No, I think that's pretty valid in all honesty. I think just watching Wild Eddie play this season probably gonna be a hype game.
Yeah. I'm gonna start this one with a prediction of it being a 1-1. Because I think my team's good enough momentum-wise to at least take one off them, and at least, at least take a game. I'm gonna go with a 1-1 just because I think my team's momentum is gonna help us at least take a game out of this series.
I'm gonna go for a 2-0 for Wild Daddy. I think Amir is gonna struggle a lot against Jazar in the mid lane. Actually, hold on, is Jazar playing
Yeah, Jazar's the
mid
mid.
this season?
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Okay. Well, like I said, I think Jazar is gonna struggle a lot,
Mir's,
mainly because it's Amir. I have a he has a tendency to shut down in matchups he does not understand.
yeah, which I've seen a lot.
Then not to mention Wild Daddy is just gonna be doing Wild Daddy things, and you guys can't predict what he'll do. But I mean, if you guys weren't able to reschedule, there's a big WoW thing happening next week Thursday. So
Yeah, mine really just depends on my work schedule. I haven't got my work schedule for next week yet, so I have to look at see what it is.
I also have to reschedule a game for next week too.
Yeah, I mean, at least we'll actually get casted. You have editor perms, I
Hopefully,
believe. I think you can edit your own, or I can do it for you.
again,
All right. And then your guys' series, hopefully, you can find a replacement for your military man.
I don't know. I think we got someone who can play with us on Thursdays. So
Yeah.
hoping if everything goes well, we can play. And it's Grim Fury, it's Island Stack. Don't really hold anyone on that team in high regard apart from Island and his ability to only play micro heroes.
I mean, if you look at week one, I Daddy Sucks My Dictatorship absolutely crushed Grin
Yeah,
Fury.
which is honestly what should happen. I don't think that team is strong at all. Um,
Well,
don't like it's just like if you let Island have his heroes, you're gonna have a hard time. You don't let him have his heroes, you're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, because I remember looking back at the draft, and they just banned out Island and forced him onto Death Prophet and said, "Haha, you have no micro. Sucks to suck."
It's either you get a invoker with a helm, or just any other mid hero that he can't perform well on.
Yeah, so I'm gonna predict this one. I'm gonna say, just because I've scrimmed Island enough times, I've kind of played against him enough times. I'm gonna predict this being a 2-0 for you guys against Grin Fury. I'm gonna predict a solid 2-0. I think, like you said, I don't like the Island stack. There's a few players outside Island. They're okay at Dota, but there's nobody really scary on that Grin Fury team.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a fairly. Oh, I'm not gonna say fairly easy. I think we're gonna struggle a bit with the stand-in. But I think with Dirge and hopefully Milkboxy this week, it should probably be pretty easy for us to play.
Yeah.
So probably just gonna go for 2-0 for us as well.
All right, and then we got the last series. Probably we got an upset potential here, just because you never at this point you never know what you're gonna get at Dark Horse Storm. Like last season, they came in, they were supposed to be a good team, and they were kind of eh. And then this season, it's potentially looking like a similar script to last season for Dark Horse Storm, where they're coming in as a really high ranked team. They're Dark Horse Storm. They're always consistently good, and they're kind of coming out of the gate a little eh. So you don't really know what you're gonna get out of Dark Horse Storm week to week. But I do believe Slugcats. I know they're a friend stack. They're really good friends with each other. But playing Dark Horse Storm and playing Slugcats, it was two completely different games. Dark Horse Storm was a bit more of a struggle of a series, while Slugcats, outside of a couple moments in the second game, was kind of an easy series. I'm not trying to demean them, but comparatively, the two series my teams played against these two teams, the Dark Horse Storm series was a bit more tougher to get the 2-0 out of, because game two we were behind a lot longer. We weren't really behind against Slugcats from bell to bell in either game, so I'm gonna predict a Dark Horse Storm 2-0.
I'm always a Barry fan, but I also want to root for Slugcats because they came from what, two divisions below.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go for a 1-1 in hopes that Slugcats are able to, show us that they can hang with the big dogs, you know.
yeah. Show that they can take a bite out of Dark Horse Storm. I mean, if they can take a game off Dark Horse Storm, that's a nice little feather in Slugcat's hat. But Barry, he's always a difficult guy to lane against. It's hard to play against. It was relatively easy for me this week just because me and Revamp were kind of simpatico and just said, you know what, we're just gonna run at Barry and make his life hell, and that's what we did for the first 15 minutes of each game. And then Nether Knights gets a nice breather week. They finally get their first win.
The free win of the season.
Yeah, they get their first win of the season. They get a nice free bye against so sad we don't have an even amount of teams. I would rather not ever have a bye week. But unfortunately, we have 7 teams, so we get a bye week, and Nether Knights gets it this week. And they get their first win of the season, and then it's going to move them up to 1-4 on the season. Hopefully, just seeing a nice little check mark of a win next to your team's name gives them a bit of confidence to build from. And then they can start working from 0-4 and see if they can pull the old R&B and start the season absolutely garbage and then turn it all the way around.
I think that's just only an R&B special right there.
Well, Nether Knights just has to go back and watch R&B's tapes from last season.
Just got to threaten your team that you're going to quit every week if you lose.
Yeah, that helps. That works.
Or in Pansy's case, hold my family hostage.
Did you get your family back?
No, I'm missing a couple toes for my family members, but you know,
uh,
it's what
does
you do.
does Pansy happen to have those still on ice?
No, he has them as a necklace, as a memento.
That
It's
explains
one of the
why Pansy's off a little bit in the head.
yeah, Florida man doing Florida man things, you know.
Makes sense, Florida. And that makes it all make more sense as he's a Florida man. I want to thank you for joining me this week, Ness.
Thanks for having me.
I don't know when I'm gonna do Wartent next week, but hopefully I actually have everything updated. Even though I look at everything like 15 times over, obviously everything slipped past me because I kind of just copy pasted everything down and didn't edit it like I thought I did. But that's week 3. Yeah, week 3 going in. Week 2 review. Week 3 predictions of AD2L Season 40 Warrior League. I've been Simba. Ness has been Ness. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you guys next week sometime.
Let's play some good Dota on Thursday, hopefully.
Hopefully it occurs. But I want to hope you guys have a good rest of your night. I know this was kind of out of left field and not really fully fleshed out, but got it together as best I could. But yeah, thank you guys for joining, and I'll be here next week. Bye.
I need to head out because my dog is starting to freak out. We'll see you later. Have a good one.